This is an examination of the hidden human condition.
This is the Hidden Killers Podcast.
The Hidden Killers Podcast.
With Tony Bruschi.
It's, of course, been something that many of us have been following for God knows how long at this point. I think the first time I watched the Dateline episode, Mommy Doomsday, is when I was hooked on the dark and twisted story of Chad and Lori Daybell. And, well, there's a little bit of new news going on. A hearing scheduled late last week to discuss the report regarding DNA testing. In that hearing, members of the public were asked to leave the courtroom until after the court was able to discuss the findings of testing. Why? Well, Judge Stephen Boyce said that this report could potentially taint jurors that could be called to serve in the case. It's a very small community, keep in mind. So, it was necessary to seal the record, close the hearing for purposes of candid discussion with counsel to discuss the DNA test report. According to reporting from ABC 4 News, the evidence that was being tested was hair. The court agreed to do the testing back in January. Results finally came in on Monday. It was not explicitly stated where the hair in question came from, but Desert News reported previously that it could have come from duct tape on the body used to transport JJ's remains. Remember all that? Remember the storage locker that suspiciously looked like there was a body being moved in and out of it? If not, go watch the videos. It's a great family watching. Like, hey, kids, see how good you have it? Your parents aren't doing this next time they complain, right? Maybe a little bit extreme to watch Mommy Doomsday and say, be happy. After the court discussed the report of the DNA testing, the court reconvened. Then Nate Eaton of East Idaho News reported that the attorneys went back to the judge's chambers and the court was cleared again. Court convened again at that point, and Judge Boyce said that due to the state receiving the DNA testing report, the hearing scheduled for Monday would be postponed until Thursday. So that's where we sit at this moment in time. On Friday, a pretrial conference was held. Daybell's attorney, John Pryor, motioned to sever his case from Vallow. Pryor argued that the defense didn't have enough time to sift through all of the evidence and was being provided to them at the last couple of months leading up to the trial. The prosecution said that Pryor had sufficient time and that they thought the trial should proceed. Trying to stall again, basically. Judge Boyce said that he would issue a decision in writing on that very particular motion. The prosecution also mentioned that Vallow was not able to use mental health as a defense, which you cannot do in Idaho. Vallow's attorney, Jim Archibald, said that Vallow doesn't believe that she will be convicted and that evidence related to her mental health would then only be used after conviction in a sentencing trial. Currently, Daybell and Vallow scheduled to begin that trial on April 3rd. Set your calendars. In Ada County, Idaho, the case has gripped the nation, obviously, for more than a year now, for several years. New developments seeming to emerge every few weeks in this. None of them in the favor of Chad or Lori Daybell. It would, I think, take one hell of a miracle. This would be like the movie of the year if somehow something twisted came out and you go, oh my God, I didn't see that coming. They're totally lovely human beings starting a small cult in Idaho. What could be better? And they didn't kill their children. They just happened to be buried in their backyard. But there's a completely logical explanation for it. Captain Kangaroo did it. I mean, that's kind of like where the thinking on Lori Daybell has been. It's just utterly ridiculous idea after an utterly ridiculous idea. It remains to be seen what impact the DNA testing will have on the trial and whether the defense will be successful in serving the cases here. But one thing is for sure, this thing is very, very, very far from over.
This is an examination of the hidden human condition.
This is the Hidden Killers Podcast.
With Tony Bruschi.
Be sure to press subscribe wherever you download podcasts. You don't miss any breaking updates on the stories that we are covering for you. And if you want to weigh in on any of this, do so. Give us a call, 888-5-KILLER, 888-554-5537, and share your thoughts. We'd love to hear your voice on all of this. You can follow me on Twitter at TonyBPod. I am Tony Bruschi. Stay with us.